There was a time when you two could talk for hours without even trying. Maybe it was in a car, somewhere on a long drive, the kind where the dark outside made it feel safe to say the things you'd never say in the light. Or maybe it was early on, lying in bed, not even touching, just talking, like the words themselves were a form of closeness. And somewhere, without either of you deciding it, that stopped. Not all at once, not with fight or a door slamming. It just thinned out, slowly, the way a song fades at the end, and you don't notice the silence until the silence is already there. If you've been feeling that in your relationship lately, I want you to know that's not a sign that the love is gone. It doesn't mean you chose wrong. It means you're human, and what's happening to you has a name. Most couples assume deep conversation disappears because they've run out of things to say, but that's not it. That's never it. What actually happens is quieter and, honestly, a little more uncomfortable to look at. Over time, without realizing it, most couples unconsciously train each other what is and isn't safe to bring up. Think about the last time you started to say something real, something that felt a little vulnerable, a little unresolved inside you, and you watched their face. And maybe the face wasn't bad. Exactly. Maybe they just looked tired or distracted, or they gave you an answer when what you needed was for them to just sit in it with you for a second. So the next time that feeling rose in your chest, you swallowed it a little faster, and they did the same, and you both did. And suddenly the conversations are about logistics, about the kids' schedules and what to have for dinner, and whether the car needs an oil change. Real things, important things, but not the thing. This is where most people feel a fear they don't say out loud. They wonder if they become roommates. They wonder if this distance is permanent. They wonder if maybe, on some level, they become someone their partner no longer finds interesting enough to go deep with. That fear is lying to you. Here's the uncomfortable part, though. The part that's harder to hear. Most of us stop being curious about our partners long before we notice the silence. We thought we already knew them. And the moment you decide you know someone completely, you stop asking. And when you stop asking, they stop sharing. And then one day the distance feels like their fault or your fault or just fate, when really it was a slow, mutual, accidental surrender. That one is hard to sit with, I know. But here's what I want you to hold on to. Reconnection doesn't require a weekend retreat or a difficult conversation about the relationship. Sometimes it starts with something so quiet it almost feels too small to matter. The first thing, I'd call it the 2-minute flood. Not the asking of big questions. Not, where do you see us in 5 years? I mean this. At some point today, you sit with your partner and you ask them about something small they mentioned last week. The thing they were frustrated about at work. The podcast they said was interesting. The dream they half described over coffee. You ask and then you stay. You don't fix it. You don't redirect. You feel the warmth of their voice landing in the room. You hear the shift when they realize you actually remembered, actually came back to it. That sound, that small exhale, that slight softening in how they're sitting, that's the nervous system recognizing it's safe again. That's the body saying, oh, you're here. It takes 2 minutes. But it tells them something that an hour-long conversation sometimes can't. The second thing is harder, and most people won't do it, which is exactly why it works. Tell them something you haven't fully figured out yet. Not a problem you need them to solve. Not a confession. Just something you're still in the middle of. Something uncertain. I've been feeling weird about this part of my life, and I don't even totally know what it is yet. That kind of thing. Because here's the truth about deep conversation. It doesn't happen when everything is polished and resolved. It happens in the unfinished places. It happens when one person risks being seen before they have the answers. And when you do that, something in your partner softens. Because now they're not talking to the version of you that has it all together. They're talking to the real one. And the real one feels like someone worth talking to all night. The people who find their way back to each other aren't the ones who had the perfect conversation. They're the ones who stayed curious one day longer than felt comfortable. Connection isn't something you lost. It's something you both quietly agreed to stop tending. And the quiet kind of people, the ones who feel everything but say it in half sentences and long pauses, they already know exactly what I mean.